last 20 years working on energy transmission. Their aim was to reconstruct the technology behind Nikola Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower, which was built to transmit energy wirelessly. That tower was destroyed by Tesla's financier, J.P. Morgan, who realized that wireless transmission would obsolete copper wiring and undermine the profits from his own copper mines. Tesla was using the work of a man named Zenit, who discovered a wave that travels almost instantaneously in the field around our planet. It follows the surface of the Earth, and when it moves, it doesn't have any harmful effects on human beings. Tesla was looking to ride the Zenit wave to transmit both energy and communications. The Coram brothers have apparently now recreated that technology with modern materials and achieved what Tesla had set out to do. You'll be able to put an antenna on your car that will just tap the field for electricity. You'll be able to put one on your home or your local power station. That energy can be tapped by an ocean liner crossing the sea with an antenna on top without burning any polluting fuels. The Zenit technology is the best one we found for transmitting energy in a low-cost and healthy way.
These innovations in energy integration and transmission are brilliant and make it possible to keep a lot of our existing infrastructure in place. Of course, we also really need clean energy sources that are decentralized and affordable for them to transmit and integrate. Tapping into a field of infinite energy would do so much to improve the actual daily lives of all of us everywhere on this planet. That's why we've spent so much of our time and resources investigating inventors who claimed breakthroughs in the generation of energy.
One promising energy source comes from hydrogen. It's the most abundant element in the entire universe. It's essentially everywhere. The key to hydrogen is that when it's ignited, it creates heat, and the heat can be transferred into power. So if we can do that efficiently and inexpensively, then we can use it to run our cars, our factories, or an entire community. It could substitute for dirty coal and repurpose the 15,000 plus coal plants that are wreaking havoc with the earth, the miners, and the people living nearby. It could also replace nuclear and fracking. But currently, extracting hydrogen from water is too expensive to be a viable option. In Thailand, however, we found a guy who claimed his team had discovered a way to access hydrogen for fuel absolutely cleanly and for virtually nothing. The inventor himself does not do media appearances, but he authorized one of his technicians, who built the device, to give us a tour.
There's a gas in the water you can burn, so you can make a fire out of water.
This inventor apparently has found a way to use earth minerals in a pressurized vortex to access pure hydrogen cheaply and efficiently.
We found an easy way to make hydrogen. You don't need a big, fancy electrolysis factory. We find a system where the hydrogen comes out from a kind of chemical reaction. We have some special mix.
The device that they've created to extract hydrogen is as beautiful as any energy technology I've ever seen. They've found the secret of how to catalyze a reaction in this compound that then just gives off essentially free hydrogen.
We asked ourselves the question, what does the world need? We think hydrogen is the best way to solve this problem.
I was encouraged by the hydrogen device still under development. And what also really excited me were the technologies for extracting energy directly from the field. For over 20 years, I've searched the world for working free energy devices. A really common objection to even the notion of a free energy device is that it can't be, because physics has certain proven laws, and this would be in violation of that. So, if in fact there is a device that is running without being plugged into anything for long periods of time such that it proves that it's accessing energy from somewhere else, then either the law is wrong or the law is misunderstood. And I think for the most part, the law is misunderstood. The first law of thermodynamics states that an isolated energy-producing system can't generate more energy than goes into it. This may be correct within closed systems, but atoms, suns, galaxies, and the cosmos itself, like the magnet on your refrigerator, are open systems. The successful devices we are seeing are specifically designed as open, not isolated systems. So the limitations of the first law don't apply when it comes to accessing energy from one realm to another. I learned about a young man in Africa who claimed to have built a car, a generator, and even a helicopter that ran on radio frequencies, a true free energy device that keeps batteries consistently charged. It took me several months to find him, but when I did, it blew my mind.
I knew it would be complicated because these things always are. Going to Zimbabwe, the Ethiopian airline that we had tickets with had just had a major crash, and a cyclone had just ravaged the area, leaving hundreds dead.
Well, we're sitting in a hotel in Harare, Zimbabwe this morning. We're here today to start the vetting process and find out, okay, what's real? Over 95% of the time, these things aren't what they claim to be. This time we took engineer Nils Rognerud to assist with the vetting. When Nils and I arrived and met Maxwell, I was very impressed with just what a gentle, true-seeming soul he was. And then the next morning, we went to see the device, and he gave us a full tour. I was practically ecstatic. It was such a beautiful, elegant device.
What we're looking at is called the green power of grid machine. It is 0.5 megawatt, and we are relying with the radio frequency. We harness radio frequency converted into pure energy that is useful. It is called a microsonic energy device. A microsonic energy device, it is the generator in this machine.
For people who are not familiar with this, 0.5 megawatt, how much will that power in terms of a house or a community or what?
We're talking of about 300 standard house homes,
Okay.
that you can power with one machine.
So there's no oil burning, there's no fires going on or anything. So where's the energy coming from?
We're harnessing it straight away from the natural energy that God has just put in the air, on our earth. Yeah, the radio frequency.
So nothing unusual, but the main point is that a meter away there's no transmitted from a microwave tower next to the park we're standing in.
It's a poignant day for us here, and amidst the excitement of seeing this for the first time, a couple of strangers showed up on the site where we were being shown these devices, and Maxwell, the inventor, took us aside as soon as he could and said, these guys are from the government, and I didn't know they were coming. Unfortunately, we're truly concerned about this gentleman, and we're just going to take every precaution that we can to keep ourselves safe, to keep him safe, and to keep this knowledge safe.
The microphone we had on Maxwell picked up the conversation that he had with one of the officials. So we quickly got the tape translated and found out that the government official was promising Maxwell a power purchase agreement where the government would pay him for generating energy for the country. It was good corroboration that they believed he had what he claimed. Although Maxwell didn't trust him because the government had already put him in prison in an effort to steal his technology. In fact, when Maxwell was put in prison, he was put in a cell with one of the richest guys in Zimbabwe, a man named Genius, that's his real name, whom the government had jailed to extort more money from. Maxwell was in great despair and praying for like 5 or 6 hours at a time. It was driving Genius crazy, and he was saying, "Why are you praying so much? Shut up." Finally, they ended up talking, and Genius was impressed and said, "Okay, I'll help you, man." It was the most unlikely, couldn't have scripted it way for Maxwell to be able to have somebody on his team with real business savvy and support, and it was forged right there in prison. I love that.
So when you're in prison, Maxwell was praying now and then. So I'm asking, but why did you pray like that? It's too much.
From the time I have known him, I've learned a lot from him. He sees people. I think the way God sees people. I think you saw it when you were driving. People can just block his way. Not to attack him, but everyone likes him.
If you just deal with the right people, me and Maxwell will take this to another level.
We were feeling very excited about our progress with Maxwell and hoped that we would soon be able to conduct a thorough vetting of the device. However, we started running into issues. Suspicions of our motives and intentions were starting to circulate amongst Maxwell's advisors.
So Maxwell sent this note saying, "Hi Foster, we have talked and I'm advised that the further tests you requested won't be possible because of a number of issues such as 1. Where it's intended to be used, if on investors." The single most important thing of all this to me is we do the duration test so we find out, do we think that this technology is real as claimed or not?
Absolutely.
Call declined. Okay then. So I'm trying to get in touch with Maxwell because we're down to our last day once again. In the next few hours, we need to make a decision. Are we going to change reservations once again and stay over, which is going to be a real hit on our budget? But this is what it takes.
And is he ultimately, consciously or subconsciously, trying to get it so that we either have to leave, we just can't wait around any longer so we don't get the result we came for, and we don't get to expose some potential problem with the thing?
I don't know either.
For me, the low point of that whole trip to Zimbabwe was when we had been waiting in the hotel room for a number of days and we were getting these texts with kind of false accusations and suspicions. And then one came in and said, "When's your plane? You should just go." That was like the moment of, okay, he's not just stalling, he's saying, go away. So that's when I really had to search deep inside myself for, can I put up with this? Do I think he has the capability to actually come around? But both of those things get resolved for me in, I don't know if he's going to come around, but I know that I'm true. His suspicions are false, so that if I can just hang in there and actually get into reality again with him, at least we've got a shot. And I pictured being on the plane, going home with a complete failure, and not knowing, and the possibility that this was maybe the best energy device I've ever seen, and we got kicked out based on misunderstandings. That was so much more horrible to me than the obnoxious need to wait and the expenses that were being accrued in the process of it. Just when our hope was beginning to fade, we received a text from Maxwell. He was ready for us to conduct a full vetting of the device. We're not sure what had changed, but we were excited and ready to go. One final hurdle was finding some additional batteries the inventor needed for the test.
Okay, so we're trying to come up with enough money to buy the rest of the batteries that the inventor needs to do the test this afternoon before we're supposed to leave tomorrow.
Max explained that the energy tapped from radio frequencies runs through batteries, so the batteries don't lose their charge, but you still need them for the process.
Found another envelope in the safe. This is Zimbabwe petty cash. We have another $90, folks.
The biggest boss.
Well, friend, thank you so much for helping us out today. This is the big day. Yeah, what we're doing today will be so important for Maxwell and for you with other people who are interested in the technology. Ultimately, they need to know that it lasts long enough to prove what the device does. And then also, Nils will be measuring the voltage of the batteries during the test, and that will reveal whether it's what he has claimed or not. So I'm sitting here in Mr. Genius's office. We're just taking the next step toward getting this vetting done because they didn't have the right batteries. They didn't have enough batteries in the device to do the duration tests that we need. The inventor did not have enough cash to buy all the new batteries. So we needed to get cash, and you cannot get cash out of banks or currency shops or anything in Zimbabwe right now. So fortunately, come to my office and we can swipe a credit card and get you the cash, and take you over and get you the batteries. So that transaction has taken place with a little extra drama. We're home free to the next step anyway. Big Blue started at 4:36 p.m. We're here with Maxwell, and the test is starting.
Once we arrived on site, our goal for the vetting was to establish that the device could power a welding machine, which uses a lot of electricity very quickly, for long enough that it couldn't be running on batteries alone.
So you were asking where the energy came from. You mentioned the other day the sun, but it's not like solar energy.
I know,
right?
it's not. We're not using solar energy because this one is not even affected with clouds, light, and things
Right.
like that. It just works.
So the energy, the radio frequencies that you're harnessing,
Yeah.
are they there in space, in the field all the time?
Yes, they are. From the first day we started testing the machine, we have been analyzing and we saw that the radio frequency is there. But one thing that we want to know for sure is it alien or is it God? Is it man-made from another planet or is it from God? That's where we need, I think, scientific people to define exactly. But we know the radio frequency, we have everything.
If it's still a fully charged battery, the test is successful.
It's not screws.
Oh, that's 217.
0.9.
That's perfect.
We get it.
So that's the 18 battery.
Yeah, that's the 18 batteries.
Oh, and-
So that's higher than the nominal voltage.
Dude! Wow!
So much.
That is awesome.
That's 18 total batteries. So that's higher voltage.
Thank you.
Two thumbs up.
Thank you so much.
One final check of the battery voltage revealed a shocking result. Not only had the machine outlasted the expected battery life, but the batteries were still fully charged. This proved that the device was being powered from an unknown energy source.
Thank you.
This is one of the happiest days of my life, and I am so proud of this man who has gone through so much. He's listened to the voice of the divine coming through him, and he's done whatever it takes to bring this through for humanity. So congratulations, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Now we're going to get you well.
I got your emojis.
We just finished, just got back to the hotel after a completely successful vetting.
Oh my God. I really want to honor that this could not have happened without you. Every one of us would have left that situation. I am just super, super grateful for that. And I'm super grateful that we have an opportunity for people to see it because it helps people so much to know what's possible.
The test we did yesterday is historic. I still am digesting it because it basically means the end of fossil fuels.
I'd say the main thing that I have learned personally from this trip, it's more a reinforcement
of something that I know, but, doubt now and then, is that whatever the question, the answer is always more love. Because our relationship with this inventor was on the rocks. It was tempting to just say, hey, I came to help you. If you don't want it, we're out of here. And I know from past experience that, wait through that. That's not a great emotional place to make a decision from. Just kept telling him the truth, even when he didn't believe it, and then loving him even when he couldn't allow it in. And at the end, being with us, he could see that number one, our motives were true, and number two, we were treating him with love.
We've spent the last 8 years traveling the globe in search of insights and technologies that could radically transform our world. And we found them.
So why don't we all have access to these promising breakthroughs?
We don't have access to these world-changing breakthroughs because we're not allowed to have them. Virtually every solution we found has been made illegal or suppressed, often violently. Maxwell's been imprisoned and tortured to try to get his secrets, and he and his first partner, before genius, were both poisoned. Maxwell's still recovering from it, and his partner died.
One of the painful reality I have seen in energy is this is a very dangerous game altogether. Yeah, especially free energy, because as I said, if they can try to kill it using professional people, and that has happened to me. I went through a lot, poisons, like I'm saying right now. I'm fighting it. They come to you, then they said, no, you mustn't do this. When they see that you're not giving up, then they can just affirm you. Then they can say, no, you've done ABC. My prayer is this thing must see the light of the day.
Innovators